Hello and welcome everybody to Wondrous Ascension Ride, Emerge with Grace to Live Abundantly in the New Paradigm Virtual Retreat. My name is Sandra Thomas and I'm the grateful host of this event, which is intended to assist all of you with tools, powerful strategies, wisdom, the experience and expertise of our very dear friends, our guest speakers, way showers, spiritual teachers, authors, and so much more. So, as you know, most of us know that we are going through very challenging times, and many of us are changing something in our lives, partners, maybe homes, maybe jobs, and this can be a little unsettling. So, today, we are here with somebody who is very beautiful soul, who is a light language channeler. And let me tell you something more about her because she will be sharing some of her toolkit magic with you all. So let me tell you that she's a multidimensional healer, an intuitive, an ascension guide, an artist who is leading individuals towards the remembrance of their original blueprint and who they really are. She assists with accessing and working with her higher realms, galactic groups, the quantum field, and assists in bringing together the fragments were lost. I mean, many fragments of the soul's journey were lost, and now we can recover them. And all of this is to illuminate an understanding of the Earth experience. In addition, she channels artwork from the Galactic Federation of Light in the form of star maps, and we're going to talk about it in a bit. And she is the illustrator of the children's book, The Cardboard Castle. She also mentors and coaches Starseeds, who are healing, journeying, and stepping back into their purpose through private session work, and her YouTube channel where she hosts Soul Sisters Speak and shares content around this great shift of the ages. She's a panel member of the 144 table and has appeared as a guest on multiple online events. She also collaborates with Garden Rebels, bringing attention to the connection we all have with personal energy, wellness, and food sovereignty. And that's another thing that we, or I would love to know much more about. So please welcome Sherri Bausch. Sherri, welcome and thank you so much for being with us today here.
Thank you, Sandra. I'm so excited to have this opportunity to share this space with you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. So, as always, I like to begin asking our dear speakers to tell us a bit about their background, how they started, and when they realized that they had these gifts and talents that brought them to where they are now and to what their contribution to the world is, right? Because we're here to serve. So, tell us
Yes.
a bit about your beginnings and how you got your breakthrough in this amazing life and all of the things that you do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So my journey has been an interesting one, I think, as we all have an interesting journey, but the bulk of my awakening was in 2012. But I'll go back a little bit before that. 2003, I was actually diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder. And I was the mom of two young children, and I was working full time, and life was very busy. And that was my first glimpse into life doesn't have to be the way that I'd been taught. And so I made major lifestyle shifts, lots, kind of transformed in the time up between 2003 and 2012. And I started reading books by David R. Hawkins, Power versus Force. I started reading Einstein's biography, getting into the quantum things. And these were things that I was never, ever really good at in school. I never took physics. I was never interested. But 2003, things started coming online for me. And I didn't really know what it meant, except that I was able to understand things that I couldn't understand before. That was my first clue. And then fast forward to 2012, I was teaching as a public school teacher. I had been a teacher for a very long time, about 20 some years, and everything kind of just started coming crashing in. My autoimmune disorder kicked in after a little hiatus, and I had 3 episodes in 1 year. My relationship was kind of falling apart, and so all those things, I had major health issues that were life threatening. And it was another wake-up call for me. So I started really seeing things, everything. I started realizing, I remember the very day that I realized that everything was really flipped upside down. And that was a huge awakening and a huge, I don't even know what to call it. It was very profound for me to understand that what I had seen in the world was really maybe not what it really was and what I knew myself to be. So in order to heal my body, especially, I started with, Western medicine and the doctor's appointments and therapy and things like that. But I was also drawn to acupuncture, and I had been practicing yoga for years, but not seriously. I decided that I really wanted to become a yoga teacher and understand the body and energy and how it moved through the body more. I was then led to Reiki and became a Reiki master. Then I was led to EFT, emotional freedom technique. And I did these things all on myself, for myself. This was all about me at this point, Yeah, exactly. And I was fascinated with the concept of energy and how energy was this completely, it was just a completely new body that I had never known anything about, that no one had ever talked about before, really. 2012, things were that was a major shift. That was, I remember my kids in my classroom saying, it's the end of the world. And it was December 12th, 2012. It was the end of the Mayan calendar, right? And the end of Kali Yuga and that epic. And so here I am today after, gosh, what is that? 8 years of study, 9 years of study, going on 10 years of study, very intense self-study and working with other people and almost as initiate. And really the last couple years have just been catapulted. I've been catapulted into really the ancient knowings of who I am and where I came from and where we've all come from, and receiving information from a higher intelligence that I hadn't received before. And it's just been a beautiful journey.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So you do have a before and an after, meaning that you do have a breakthrough where you started connecting with your inner guidance or your masters or spirit guides and began to bring in all of this wisdom, right? That is now part of your journey, right? To share this wisdom with others in all the things that you're doing now.
Yes, exactly. And I do remember the very first time I had past life knowings. I had had some psychic experiences years before that I didn't really understand. I didn't tell anybody about it. I just kind of held it and thought, well, I don't know what this is. And so, that experience had each year, each level, diving a little bit deeper brought me these things that kind of opened it up.
That's wonderful. Yeah. There's usually something strong happening in our lives to actually activate whatever is dormant, right? To begin the journey, the spiritual journey, and then be of service and bring in all of this wisdom that is waiting for us to just tap into. So I'm very curious, Sherri, about the star maps. Can you tell us what that is and what you use that for?
Sure, absolutely. So I think it was right as we began the lockdown. I was always teaching. I was teaching art. That's what I was doing before in a private school, and I was just increasing my time in meditation at that point because I could. I was unemployed, but it was exciting for me. I thought, exactly. This is the time that I can kind of really go within myself that I've been waiting for. And so I was meditating a lot, and I always ask when I sit for meditation, what do I need to know? Bring me what I need to know. And so this day I did that. And right away, I was connected with the Galactic Federation of Light, which I had heard about, but had never really been online with. And they just came in straight away and said, we have messages for you. And I said, okay, and they said, get your notebook out. So I got my notebook out and I started writing these terms that they gave me that were physics terms. And I didn't know what to do with them. But a couple days later, I looked them up in research and thought, oh, this is all about stargates and portal travel and interdimensional travel, just the intuition and the facts that I could put together. And so I just let it sit. And then I was very compelled a few days later to sit down with paper and just start drawing circles. And I had been painting circles since 2005, large canvases and smaller canvases, and didn't know what they were, but I just loved doing it. And I was in my flow, I was in that space where it was coming. I was very much channeled, but I didn't understand it at the time. So I was doing black and white pen and ink ones, and they just showed up. I didn't know where they were going, but I allowed the guidance to come through from the Galactic Federation. They would tell me when it was done. They would tell me when I needed, where it needed to go. It was very precise and it was really fascinating for me. And I loved that process. And so they told me they were star maps. I didn't truly understand what that meant. They said they were portals. I mean, I knew what a portal was. And they told me they'd be receiving codes and light codes, which I could somewhat write, but I wasn't real confident in writing them. And so I waited and a year later, not that long ago, a couple months ago, the codes came in as well. So I wrote codes on those. And as I understand it, and from assistants just posting things in social groups and things, and people kind of reflecting back to me, they are timestamps of this ascension journey that's going on right now. These are interdimensional, they're activations to be able to assist and support as we go through this ascension journey. And each one is a different star system.
Amazing. So you would say that one of those can be useful for many people, or is there one particular, say, a star map for each person, like they can say refer to one particular one, or it's just a general light code for people connecting or tapping onto this energy at this time?
The way I understand it is that they are general, however, they speak to each individual person differently. So they're very multidimensional. So whatever that person is seeking, healing, clearing, because really that's what they translated to me, was that this is really about clearing all of the human constructs that are in the way, and the conditioning, the belief systems and things like that, and helping us to remember. And that's how actually I for a very long time, up until last year, I was not sure what my purpose was. And they were very clear about, you're to help people remember who they really are. And so,
so many tools are coming through at this time. These are amazing times. So this is amazing, wonderful. And also, as I said before, you mentioned that you're involved with food sovereignty. This is an interesting combination, food sovereignty. What can we make out of that?
I'll be honest, when I was looking over some of our material for today, I was like, I actually thought, where does my love of nature and my love of gardening and food come in? How does that all connect? Spirit, what's that about? So I know that I'm a steward of the earth. That's also one of my, and if you think about it, remembering who you are, we're all stewards of the earth. We all came from the earth. We're all, actually, the composition of humans is very similar to the composition of the minerals of the earth. So we are of that. We are all connected. We are all one. So that's very much where I'm coming from with that. But I think this food sovereignty piece was born out of my health issues and learning how to eat clean food and food that meets your needs. So not, it's not a one size fits all, but the sovereignty piece is all about bringing our power back into ourselves, regaining our power, claiming our power over everything. And for me, food and clean food and good health is part of a clean, clear vessel. It's part of how you direct your energy and how you clear your energy. So food sovereignty is just one aspect, but very important, I believe, especially now with the systems that are in place. It's very important that we're able to grow our own food. And I'm not talking about divisiveness or, I don't want to doom and gloom. It's not that. It's just that really we have to reclaim our health and reclaim our bodies. And it starts with food and soil.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's part of our sovereignty in different ways, right? It's one of them.
Exactly. Exactly.
Beautiful. So I would like to hear something about your talent for channeling light language. I am very curious to know where it comes from and what's the power that it has when applied. Is there any particular meaning? Is the sound? Is there any translation to it? Can you clarify? Maybe you can give us a sample of that for our dear friends today.
Yeah, so light language is really simply a vibration. It's a high frequency vibration. It comes from the higher consciousness. It's extremely multidimensional, multifaceted. So to compare it to our language, our English or any other type of language that you may speak, is kind of like apples and oranges, because what comes through with light language is, if you're familiar with all the different aspects of like clairsentience and clairaudience and just the knowing, there's just so much information like that comes through in one little piece of light language, plus it's not only spoken, but your hands, like recently, just in the past 6 months, it's come through my hands now. Writing, so signing, writing, speaking, singing, dancing. I've seen channelers who dance light language. It's beautiful. Yeah. So it's really all about love and compassion and opening the heart. It's really a language of love, and it's very individualized, something that's kind of hard for a traditional, our normal system, the way we've been, enculturated, whatever, and belief systems to kind of wrap your head around. But people say, well, what are you saying? And I can tell them one, like a linear version of it, but there's so much knowing to it that it's difficult. And everyone speaks, as I understand it, everyone speaks it differently. It's based on your vibration and your makeup and your DNA and what you need to your original blueprint and what your mission is and your purpose is out in the world. So it has a lot of different facets.
So it changes according to our place of origin, or planet or star system of origin, or is it something that it's not learned, but it's downloaded? Can anybody learn it, or it just happens at some point in their path? How does it work?
Yes, good questions. No, as I understand it, and as I've experienced it, you don't learn it as if you would learn another language. So it's innately in all of us. It's part of those ancient knowings. We are from the stars in my belief system. I think we are from the stars. We are from these higher consciousness. We are God's source. So it's really an activation and being activated or unlocked. And we have agreed at some point in our journey, here on earth, that we agreed to. We've agreed at a certain point in time to open up to that understanding and that allowance of this new language to come through. Yeah.
Beautiful. Sherri, I'm kind of losing you a bit. Do you know, can you fix your volume a bit? Maybe it's a little low, just a little. Maybe that can help.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think
better.
I think it's better. Yeah, we don't want to lose that information. That is awesome.
Yes.
It's amazing. So can you gift us with a sample of, do you think that you could share some message using this beautiful light language with all of us?
Sure, definitely. So I'll just qualify it by saying sometimes it comes through me and I go light language and then I can explain what I'm seeing, and then I go back into light language and kind of back and forth. Sometimes they just keep going. The language just keeps going, and then I can come out of it and explain it. So I'm just wondering that. Yeah.
Amazing.
I think what I'll do, sure. I think what I'll do is, if it's okay with you and it feels like it resonates, is just to kind of bring in some some activations and some openings for those who would like it, who are meant to be in this space right now?
Yeah, so let's invite all of you, dear viewers, friends who would like to participate. Just relax and follow Sherri's instructions, which is gather in this beautiful container and see what happens. We will follow you, Sherri. Tell us what to do.
Okay, sounds good. Great. So I'm going to have all of you, if you don't mind, I'm going to close my eyes. Take a deep breath from the root chakra. So just right between the hips, inhaling, and to the count of 3, all the way up to the top of the crown of the head. And then exhaling, feeling that breath going down through the heart space, back down into the root. Inhale again, same. And back down, just seeing the air spinning down through the chakras, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, all the way down through the hips, through the legs, to the knees. This time we're going to go further. Inhale back up. Exhaling. Take one more breath. Inhale. Just feel how much clearer you are already with those 4 or 5 breaths. Exhale, coming back down. And this time I'd like you just to go down to the feet, bring the awareness down to the feet as you exit that breath. And then just imagine the feet on the earth, barefoot, all of the waves coming up into the feet, awakening and alivening the body. And then seeing this beautiful platinum cord connecting to the core of the earth, just to ground us and anchor us. And as it connects, just lighting up the earth, opening everything up. You'll see this light wave coming down and around and through the earth, back up into your body. And as it reaches the shoulders, just feel the peace. Your shoulders drop, the heart elevates and lifts, the neck relaxes. Beautiful. So I'm also receiving that not only for the viewers, but for collective consciousness, just some healing as well.
Beautiful.
Then we're going to invite in all the higher beings that wish to join us today. So I usually work with the Pleiadians, and they're kind of on the periphery right now waiting for us. So I'm going to invite in the Pleiadians, blue ray beings, angelic realms, any beings in the higher realms who wish to join us and surround us with light. I'm also going to surround everyone with light, just a ring of light, so that anything, any debris that does come out in this healing and this activation will go into the light and transmute to higher consciousness, so it's not hanging out in the ethers. Feel a little bit of nervousness, so just bringing your attention to your heart space. We're just kind of calm that and bring some peace. Shignana nemhetua shikanahane noa sunamae noa tashlata vekisiti janana mahetua kachata situmwa nehe noa shanana emehe noa ketani shikatan. So yeah, it's a little tight. We're saying just relax. Bringing in the frequencies of love. Shishana namahai idua shakanana name idua shakanae shakananti siti noa nama idua kichichana nehete kutala lalan idua sinanama. I'm seeing them surrounding everyone in the heart space with this beautiful golden light. So it's just, these codes are coming in, but it's just really deep, brilliant gold. And they're imbuing us with codes. For the sovereignty of the earth, and for those listening, to unlock the ancient wisdoms that are innately in you as higher consciousness and divine beings. So see the collective showing up right now, and they're just surrounding us, and beautiful beings of light as well. So they're pulling out like a vortex through the center of the heart. So anything that no longer serves. There's a lot of grief and sadness, old programs. They're showing me the matrix of multidimensionality and our different experiences in the quantum field. And asking us all to just observe them with an observer's eye, no judgment. So things are coming up for you, which I'm sensing. Just observe it. Stand on the edge of it. We're not going to give it energy. We're just observing and just watching with an understanding that all of it is leading to this moment in time where we are being asked to step in to who we really are. Lots of rememberings and connections with other star races going on right now. So they're actually building those connections. I'm seeing cords of light just shooting out into these different star systems and races from each and every one of us. Activating them. Ola eshankadani sitijin man chukalansi toata sunanagi duain It's like a clearing through these cords. Lots of karmic things being cleared, as we call them. Vows, promises, contracts. Things that we agreed to that no longer serve us. We're going to send them out through the cords. So those of you who are listening, you can imagine them, things that no longer serve you, things that have been coming to the surface for you, sending them out through the cords and into the system where you came to be transmuted. Your star families are willing to take them and dissolve them for you. Yeah, much clearer. Beautiful, everybody. Yeah, lots of movement in the heart space. We're going to pull back in those cords. Just shrink them. And as they come closer to you, I'd like you to imagine just pulling them gently out of the heart space, just gently. And as you do that, I'm going to bring in some beautiful light, healing light, the violet flame, to just fill that space so it's not void and empty. Bringing ease and grace in the transition of the new. A little bit of cords hanging on. I know that letting go of some of these cords is difficult. It feels like the unknown and a little scary because we don't know what's next, what's coming next. We don't know how to act after those things are gone and those behaviors are gone and those systems are gone. So we're just bringing in light to kind of ease that anxiety. There we go. There. Yep, it's okay. You can let them go. Just sending yourself loving intentions for your journey and whatever aspects it may take, allowing those cords to dissolve and disintegrate. There we go, snapping them away. Closing up that heart space again, violet flame. And they're asking me to just bring in some codes, and then we'll finish up here. Inuasu tuashlane kiti namahaini nuasichi na akotoa na hede sua. Si nua namaha sekete indi shinane ete sine duahanai kute si shinana ete. Ina noe shana ne kutata shakata situa namaita dikota. Beautiful. Take a deep breath, everybody, please. And just feel those codes moving into the body, moving into the particles in your light body. Settling into the DNA, your bones, your blood, the fluids in the body, the organs, tissues, the skin, enveloping the body. And now we're going to see it just going out through the rest of the body, all the other chakras up from the heart to the throat, through the crown, the third eye, all the way up, all the way down the body, solar plexus, sacral, root chakra, and all the other chakras that are associated, all the way down into the light, into the earth, into that anchor that we set. All that golden light moving beyond the boundaries of the body, producing this beautiful aura of you, maybe different colors for each person. Wow, yeah, this is your empowered state. This is who you really are, the center of you, knowing that exactly everything that comes in from you, for you, is as it is meant to be. Shmana nehindua makete sutudana shnanana aikete tishukarane. They say love and peace. Thank you for participating. Jijna nana mahekete no. We wish you love and peace. Shukanan, joy and prosperity. Shukanan nana ete sitijnana nana, and finding your original intelligence. Beautiful. Okay, so we're just going to come back, everybody. Yeah, just bring it back. Bring anyone who's kind of out in the ethers, just bring it back in towards the crown. We're going to close up the crown. Vortex that energy down through the body into the earth. Nice, nicely done, everyone. Yeah. Releasing the cords that are tethering you to the earth right now so that you may be free. And we're back in the body. And then just opening the eyes as you feel you're ready to do so.
That is powerful, very powerful.
Yeah, thank you.
I could really feel all of the movement, energetic swirls around the body. That was very, very intense. Just giving us some moments to integrate this lovely activation and clearing.
Beautiful,
very beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you for
very nice. Thank you, Sherri.
You're welcome. They were very precise today. Very precise. Yeah.
That was very nice. So that was amazing. And I'm sure this will last till the rest of the day, right, Sherri? Is there anything that we can do, our friends can do along the hours? Maybe water, just drink more water.
Water for sure. If you're feeling any type of discomfort, sometimes you can receive like flu-like symptoms or just really tired or aches and pains, normal, not too bad. But I would maybe soak in an Epsom salt bath with some essential oils. That's always good to draw that out. Selenite's a really good clearing crystal. You could do that. Yes. I'd also suggest if it's kind of feeling like it's still working in you, which it will be, it usually it can go a couple days, depending on what you need. It might be a good idea to get out and just move your body somehow, yoga, walking, running, exercise, to move the energy through you a little bit. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, it's indeed very powerful. I can feel all the energy moving around. So I'm sure that our viewers can feel it too. Very nice, very, very good. So indeed, we're going through very special times as we speak. And I would like to know, it's hard not to speak about COVID, right? Because it's here. Now, I like to know our beautiful guests' perspectives about that. What's the positive? What's what's the lesson that we're here to learn? Because we're here for a reason, and surely we chose to be here this particular time. And COVID is here. All of this narrative is here. And what is your perspective? What can we take out as positive out of all of this going on in the world?
Yeah, I think my belief system is that I see it from as an observer, and I've tried very hard this whole year to really observe the bigger picture of everything. And it's hard because there are so many distractions that will pull us out of that. I do believe, I do believe that this is all about an awakening. I do believe that this is a huge shift. If you study periods in history, this is the end of 2000 years. I believe it's a 2000 years epoch, right? We're going into the Aquarian age. This is all about our awakening, but for that to happen, we have to clear the old systems that are in place, the old stuff that doesn't serve us anymore. This is all about lightening who we are and getting back to us. So I see everything on the world stage as, I don't want to say a symptom, I don't quite know the right word, but I see it as like acts and plays, and the big picture of the play is what it's really about. It has to do with our being able to look inside of ourselves and take responsibility for everything within ourselves and gaining our sovereignty. I think we're being shown in so many different ways with all these different things that are playing out in politics and government and education and everywhere, lockdown, whatever, health. We're being shown that we have given that away. We have given that outside of ourselves. And that's not to beat yourself up and say, I shouldn't have done that. That's what we signed up for. I do believe that. And this is just the way it is. This is just the way it's been. So now we have to kind of step back and take a look at the bigger picture and say, how are we going to shift our lives so that we are in complete alignment with who we are? How are we going to do that? And that requires, fortunately or unfortunately, taking a stand for ourselves. And I don't see that as a bad thing. And I'm not taking side. It's not about those little pieces. This is about, what do you stand for as a soul being? What aligns you? What makes you happy? Really happy, like, so that you don't even feel effort in your life. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about the lockdown and having to really be with ourselves and sit with ourselves, as uncomfortable as it can be for many people. It's been uncomfortable. It's not been easy.
It has, yes.
But there's beauty in that growth.
Many miracles have taken place. We've seen lots of gestures of generosity and reaching hands to people who were in need, especially the elderly people. Lots of loving gestures everywhere around the world, and that is something that was not seen so much. Or even in the family, we hear parents who have the chance to be closer to their kids and sharing more quality time with them as they were working from home. Maybe they were lucky, or just waiting until circumstances changed and opened up again for them, right? But it was a wholly unexpected experience. What would you say about that? To me, it was totally unexpected. Nobody knew that something like this would have such early scale for all of us. It was totally unexpected, wasn't it?
It was, although I will say, I have a couple friends, tribe members, we were like, something's coming, like a year to 6 months before, something big is coming. And there's a lot of chatter out there too, but innately, I think a lot of people knew that something was coming. We just never thought it would be and look like this. We never thought it would look like this. But I agree with you, the connection and connecting with tribes, and people that are like-minded, and communication that's improved because it, that was offline before because we were so busy with this distractions of life, and having to strip all that away and having to really connect with people through that heart space again is just a really beautiful, and doing the things that we love. I mean, I had a very great job, but I wanted to be working for myself, and I don't know that I would have been doing that.
And also gave us an opportunity to learn new skills, things that we the internet and online events and things like that are, just so popular now, and many people had to start from scratch doing that and
Yes.
starting new businesses, online businesses. So it gave us a few, let us say, opportunities to learn something that maybe we would never have tried had it not been for these circumstances, right? We would have gone the old ways and continue as we were. But I think that looking at the positive side, it's just like a new way of beginning. That's maybe, I don't know if you agree, because to me, this is part of the new paradigm, like starting over with different tools, different awareness, hopefully a wider, more expansive consciousness to understand higher, truths, if you will, and trying to start recreating our lives from there. Would you agree?
Yes. Oh, I completely agree. Yeah. And just the creativity, I think, that has abounded during this time is amazing, because we're able to really look deep inside and understand what really moves us and what really excites us. And I see, like you said, I see so many people starting businesses and learning new skills. And I mean, that's when I started my YouTube channel, was last year. And I didn't know it's been a learning curve, but learning all those different technologies and Zoom. And so, I agree with you.
It's actually good on that side of technology. So going back to our viewers and friends, considering that many are, and we noticed that through this experience with a light language clearing, there was a lot of anxiety, a lot of nervousness, or maybe uncertainty as to their future, what's going to happen. So what other tools would you recommend? Would you tell people who are awakening, who are already in the path, but maybe having ups and downs, one step forward, two steps back? What would you tell them to use? What can they do firsthand to help them, right, to actually walk this path of fear in many cases and come back to center in peace?
It's a really, really good question. First of all, I would say be gentle with yourself and be accepting of yourself, and understand that everyone's journey is their own journey. It's very easy to get frustrated. And when we get frustrated, the fear kind of creeps in and the anxiety creeps in. But just know that everybody is going through this just in their own version of that. So that's the first thing I would say, is to be very gentle with yourself. I would also suggest seeking out like-minded, because just finding a group of people, a tribe of people who are going through the same thing or have been there not too long ago, who can mentor and give you suggestions and bounce things off. Because when you find the tribe and you really connect, the synchronicities are beautiful. It's really, really nice, and it's very comforting and calming, and you have people that you can reach out to for support. I think the other thing too is to meditate. And I don't want to say as much as you can, but I really feel, and meditation to me I always teach that it doesn't need to look like sitting in a chair with your eyes closed. It can be walking in nature. It can be doing something that you absolutely love, that just puts you in a space where you're not thinking about anything else but that, because that's when we receive the guidance from our guides and our higher self that we need to know to go forward. So putting yourself in that space as much as possible alleviates the stress and allows your inner guidance to come through effortlessly. I think we also have to be able to discern, and this is where all the things that I just spoke about can help, discern between what is the collective consciousness and what is us, because there's so much collective feelings and anxiety, especially anxiety and fear, especially right now. And it's I feel it's going to increase for a while. I do think there's an end to it, but I think it's increasing. And so the more you can discern what is collective, especially if you're empathic, which we are all empathic, all of us, and we're waking up to more of that. That's really important. So bouncing things off of your tribe, or sitting in meditation and trying to understand, is this me, or is there a lot going on the outside that I'm taking in? And really finding that space in your body where you're feeling that, whether it's your heart space or your stomach or your solar plexus or your shoulders or your head with a headache, and really trying to just drop in a little bit to what that emotion is. Because I think when we identify the emotion, and we don't have to go real deep with it unless you feel like you want to clear it, which is great too. We can all use clearing. Identify it, and then see it as its own entity. So in other words, if I have something in my heart space, I can see it in my mind's eye as like this ball of, kind of just like this dark, dense ball of energy with debris floating around in it. And then I imagine myself pulling it out of that space and holding it. And then I invite in any higher beings that I'm working with. You can invite in Kali or Buddha or whoever you were, God, or, you know, whoever you're working with, and just ask them to take it for you. Angels, hand it over. And then just as you're doing that, just imagine, okay, accept it. This was in me. I'm feeling this and I'm loving it because I'm aware of it now, and I'm going to pass it on. And now I'm going to release it. And then just really energetically pulling it out of you. And then within that process, oftentimes I'm shown, yeah, that's not you. That's something that the collective's feeling, or that's something that maybe my mom was feeling, or maybe my best friend was feeling. And I was holding it for them. We hold a lot for each other. So
that's beautiful. Awesome. And yes, of course, I'm thinking all about these things that you're sharing. And I'm thinking it takes a little practice, right? I mean, maybe in the beginning, our friends will be trying to say, well, I don't feel as much, or it was not as when we were here with Sherri trying all of these things where we are in a container and we help one another and we are kind of these energies augmented, right? But when we're alone on our chair, let us say, or wherever it is, it may take a little while of practice, a little time, right? Before we can sense and see where the energies need to be cleared or how to move them. And I also heard, and maybe you do that to establish a connection with our guides, like a relationship. Do you do that yourself, Sherri? Whether do you establish a relationship with your spirit guides in your spiritual practice?
I do. And that has taken, again, practice. That's the trust piece. You know, that's trusting that what you're receiving is really your higher self or your guides. These are just different aspects of you, right, that are presenting themselves to you, that already know you, that already know your path, that already know where you're going. They're there. They are literally there to guide you. And so developing that and asking, I always tell people, they're like, oh, I wish I would have done X, Y, and Z. I wish I would know X, Y, and Z. And I always try to say, well, did you ask? You know, did you ask?
Yeah.
The simplest thing to do is to ask. So if you're in a space where you're really having a hard time connecting, even if you can just stop for a minute where you are, close your eyes and say, please tell me X, Y, and Z. Please tell me what I need to know.
Beautiful.
Please help me discern. That's because we're all human, and that's what we're, you know, the balance of being here on this planet is like, it's complicated, but it's really about learning to balance the light body with the physical. You know?
It's true. Plus, of course, our guides tell us, right, that they cannot interfere with our businesses. So unless we call them for assistance or for whatever thing that we need, they are literally not allowed to intervene. So they're waiting for us to call them, right? Do you agree on that?
I do agree on that. I do agree. And I do think that we also ask in some indirect ways as well, because I will have things come through throughout my day as like a little poke, you know, saying, hey, you might want to think about this, you know, almost like a clue. They're like dropping clues, you know what I mean?
That's very nice.
Yeah, they're
awesome.
funny. And I think when you develop that relationship too, there's humor in it too. You know, they're really funny.
Yeah, you begin to relax in that they're here. It's true. It's happening. So you don't question, is it happening or are they here? I mean, it's happening. You trust, you feel them. And energetically, you become more sensitive to their presence, right?
Absolutely. Very well put. Yes.
Wonderful. So friends, if you want to connect with Sherri, let us share her contact information. You can contact her through her website, www.sherribausch, that is SherriBausch.com. Through her email address, yourmindfulcreativelife@gmail.com. That is yourmindfulcreativelife@gmail.com. And her Facebook, www.facebook.com/yourmindfulcreativelife. And or Instagram, Sherri Bausch, the little and light_language_galactic, all with lowercase. So
Actually, those are,
awesome.
I'm
Yes.
sorry to interrupt you, Sandra. Those are actually, I have 2 Instagram accounts.
Oh,
so one
please.
is Sherri Bausch. Yeah, one is Sherri Bausch, and then the other is Light Language Galactic.
Perfect. Thank you for that. Yeah, so that we have all of the information clear. Also, if you're looking for a session with Sherri, you can have karmic and quantum integration sessions, psychic readings, coaching sessions, home and land clearings, and artwork, star maps that she so nicely described a little while ago. So is there anything, more services that you would like to add? If there's anything else that you are offering right now in services to our friends, if they wish to connect with you?
Sure. I do have a YouTube channel. That's just my name, Sherri Bausch, space in between. And there I offer, like Sandra was saying in the beginning, Soul Sister Speak with my friend Linda Light. She's also a truth seeker, truth speaker, and we do a series every Monday night. I also do just free content online, do energy updates and such. And then my friend Connie Paolino and I are doing Garden Rebels, which is encompassing the food sovereignty and teaching gardening.
Beautiful.
For food sovereignty.
We so need these services these days to clear, to wake up, to polish, to really feel all of the sticky energy just, being released and transmuted, right? So we all need a lot of inner work at this time of purification. Let us say the word. I know that that's what you do, and that's so beautiful work. And dear friends, on top of all of these juicy and beautiful shifts, all of these beautiful gifts that she shared with us, and all of these beautiful gifts, she has one more free gift for you today. And I would like her to tell us a bit more about that, your free gift for our friends today.
Sure. So I'm offering a free 20-minute session of your choosing. And basically, because it's so quick, there's a link in the description that
you can download
put in, right? But you'll come with an intention, and we'll speak briefly, and then we'll go right into the session, and hopefully you'll be able to have some insight gains. We'll give you I'll give you some insight, and the guides will give you insight into your path and your question. So I'm really excited to meet many of you and work with you in that capacity.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you just have to click on the button, free gift button that is there, and then you find your information right there. So I don't know if there's anything else that you would like to add as we are closing today. This is a wonderful sharing. Sherri, if there's anything else, any advice, any heartfelt, maybe something comes from your heart at this time, just to close for our friends in terms of finding their peace, that inner peace that is so needed at this time in the middle of so much noise and confusion and uncertainty. What are your final words today, Sherri, if you would like to add something?
Sure. I again would go back to the self-acceptance piece and really forgiving yourself for whatever in this experience needs to be forgiven, because we all are there. We're all working through that in some ways, in some things we don't even realize, goes very deep. And we've all had many experiences where we need to just release and forgive ourselves, because this is a beautiful time to be alive, and it's a beautiful journey, and we are all beautiful beings. We really are. And we're all connective beings. And just to keep the heart space open as much as you possibly can, even though things seem maybe discouraging at times, just keep that heart space open and let everything come through you.
Oh, that's so beautiful. That's so nice. Thank you, Sherri. And so we're closing now. Please let us know your thoughts, your greatest takeaway today, your experience with these beautiful sharings that Sherri brought us today. You can just go to my Facebook, my private group there. There's a link below. Or you can just reply to this email and tell us all about it. We would like to know what your experience was, so that we can improve and bring you more useful and enlightened tools in the future. So thank you so much, Sherri, for being here. Thank you for your beautiful soul, your talents, and your gifts, some of which you shared with us today. Thank you all our dear viewers and friends. And remember, we are creators of our lives, with our thoughts, with our feelings, with our words, with our deeds. How are we creating? How are you creating your life today? This is a moment of opportunity. So think about it. So for now, thank you so much. Namaste. And
Namaste.
see you soon. Thank you, Sherri.
Sandra. Thank you, Sandra. Bye, everyone.